Hey everybody, got another video here for you. Well, this is encouraging for as little guitar as there is here. This thing is surprisingly loud unplugged, so it's all tuned up, and it's time to hook up some pickups and the spectrum analyzer and feed it out of the spectrum analyzer and into the home stereo, one channel, so that we can see and hear what's going on. And yeah, I guess I got to dig up a whole bunch of pickups now. Okay, I've got it all hooked up here. I've got the replacement quadrail that I got the other day. I've got that tucked in here at the bridge. Piece of pickguard material for shim. Guitar's all tuned up and hooked up, and it's running through the spectrum analyzer, and then it's going into the stereo. Stereo's cranked, and obviously you hit different strings and it makes different things ring out. So I'm thinking that maybe the best thing to do is just wail on it, kind of a thing. And that'll give you an idea of like what range it covers and what kind of curve it has. And it's really the curve, because I mean, it's like you'll see the curve on this one seems to go kind of like this. But I've got I think it's 8 sets of different kinds of pickups to try out. So at least try the bridge pickups on all of them. I've got room though. I could try the next as well, I suppose. Another thing I'm interested in personally is something that doesn't have that much there and has a lot down here, so. And I took a look at my original Jackson Roswell, because it's like has more bass than any other guitar I own. And all it says on the pickup is that it's Duncan designed. And so I don't know exactly what kind of a Duncan pickup it's based off of. So that's not going to be of any help. I was thinking it might be interesting to run that through this just to see what the curve looked like though. Let me get the first set of pickups hooked up. Okay, first up, figured a good baseline would be a PAF style humbucker. These are the PAF style humbuckers that I originally got for the Gibson build, but then I ended up putting my long lost P90s in it. So I've got this is the neck. I've got the bridge in position in the guitar. I've got the camera set up as close to the meter as possible so that you can see as well as possible and still see all of the meter on the screen. And I think probably the best thing to just do is just strum them. And because of variations in pickup height and pickup strength, I'm not necessarily looking for how tall the bars are, but more or less the shape of the curve and how high and low it goes. Like this one doesn't seem to go as high or low and seems to be more rounded than the quadrail I had in a moment ago. Here, watch. And then, of course, individual strings respond differently too. Like, this is the bass, and it seems to have a bit more up in that range. which is, I don't know, 400, something like that, than the quadrail did. Yeah, so that's what the humbucker looks like. And we're talking there to there. Let me go grab my X-ray specs. That's 180 hertz, and that's 2K. Okay, now that I have the camera set up, here's the quadrail again. Seems to have a wider and flatter response curve. Goes down to like 60. Goes up to like 2.5K. Okay, next up is a Music Lily high output humbucker. Let me grab one. And I got these things as like a neck pickup to go with the quadrails. And I got 2 of them, and see what they're like. Well, I'm running into a little problem here. This Invader style, on this guy here, I actually had to bend the legs down some in order to get it to fit under and at the proper height, because it was more or less brushing right on the strings. This thing, though, I mean, these things have really fat leads on them. And between that and how far up these screws stick, I don't think it's going to fit. So, yeah, little snag there. Snag in my plan. I mean, I don't want to, like, route this guitar just to run these tests. I suppose I could loosen up the strings and put some shim under the bridge. The action doesn't really have to be at exactly 1.5 mil for these tests. Just have to clear the pickup, really, since it's all open string strumming. So, I don't know, let me think about it. Okay, I thought about it, and these Invaders, since they don't fit, or probably won't fit, I'm just not going to test them right now using this guitar. If need be, later on I can take, like, a stock neck. Where's my finger? Here we go. A stock neck like this thing. It's got full thickness heel on it. And just, slap that on a plank of wood. And put a knife edge TOM on it, just put some tuners on it, right quick, some non-locking tuners, keep the stock nut, and put on a knife edge TOM with, I've got, half a dozen of them sitting around, with a taller bridge block, and that add an extra 5 or 10 mil worth of clearance for testing tall pickups. And then, down at this end, you just do a simple string through for your tailpiece. And I'd throw that kind of thing, 4 neck screws, and don't even need a neck plate, really. And you could throw together a little test rig like that in, 15, 20 minutes kind of a thing. But, I don't know, I'll worry about that bridge, blow up that bridge when I get to it. So, for now, I'm going to go ahead and finish trying out all the pickups that will fit into this guitar. And I've been thinking about it, and I think that I got to do a couple things. One, I probably should take all these EQ outputs that I'm recording and edit them back to back to back to back. Is one thing. Probably in a separate video I should do that. And then so you can better see the difference. You know, just edit just the strumming part where you actually see the curves. And then I also got to figure out the best way to like use this thing to measure the difference between a pickup, whether it's like strumming all 6 strings, or we're just measuring the output from one string and comparing like the bass on this thing to the bass to the number 6 string output on this thing. So yeah, I'm gonna have to play around with it a little bit, but I'll go ahead and finish out what I'm doing for now, and at least we'll see something, I guess. So from what I've seen so far, just off the top of my head, I'd say that probably it'd be nice if this thing had like a peak feature that showed how high it maxed out at when I like hit it. But we don't have that, because that would instantly capture what the curve was. But no peak feature, so yeah, about the next best thing would be like the videos edited back to back to back, and then maybe like just grabbing a few frames of the peak of each output on the meter, and then doing that in order to, I don't know. I need something that lets me like grab a frame and then dump it to a printer, basically, so that I can have, you know, printouts in front of me of the EQ output of each of these pickups. But so yeah, I've still got to figure out the best way to use this measuring device, basically. But I'm going to go ahead with the testing that I'm doing now, because it does seem to provide some sort of discernible difference in results from one pickup to the next. So it seems like it's a worthy undertaking. Well, I may just have to build that test rig, because EMGs won't fit either. It's actually touching the strings. I mean, you still get output, but it's not going to be something that you can compare apples to apples. So yeah, it's even touching down here, just barely. On to the next pickup. Oh, the quadrail set is it's just 2 more quadrails. Nothing special. It's not neck and bridge or you know, different outputs or anything like that. So on to the next set of pickups. The invaders and the EMGs don't fit in this guitar with its low neck and stuff. So that's it for the humbucker styles. And single coils, I've got, well, obviously the quadrails are coil split, so I guess I should hook up a coil split quadrail, because that's what I was planning on doing for the single coil sound. And then I've also got Filtertrons, P90s. What's that? Gold foils and lipsticks. So I'll hook up the single coil, the coil split quadrail next. Okay, this is the coil split quadrail. Okay, gold foil's next. Pretty, isn't it? Okay, here's the gold foil. Output's definitely lower, and I've got it within 2 mil of the strings, so. Yeah, it barely registers. Now, if it turns out the output on these things is really low for this meter to pick it up, and I've got the sensitivity turned up all the way already over here. This guy is sensitivity and this guy is brightness for the lights. And but yeah, if it turns out that the output on the pickups is really low, I can always take them and send them through an EQ pedal which is set flat, and then bump the boost on the EQ pedal a little bit in order to amplify the signal before it goes into here. Okay, this is the P90 bridge pickup, and once again output is very low, despite the fact that it's about 2 mil underneath the strings. That's without any fretting, so you probably wouldn't be able to go much higher than that and have it still clear for fretting at the 24th fret. So yeah, this is the P90, 2 mil under the strings. Where's the pick? There we go. Sounds kind of scooped. Not as much output in the mids as it has at the bottom end and at the top end. Yeah, it's weird. You can almost like hear the difference more than you can see it. Well, the lipstick pickup is like ultra quiet. It's probably like about a 3K pickup or something. And it doesn't even register on the meter, and you can barely hear it on stereo. So, on to the next pickup, I guess. Well, I took it out of the ring and everything in order to try to get it to fit, but it's too tall as well, so I guess that's going to have to wait for the test rig. So that's it for the pickups that I can test and will fit in this guitar without modification, like routing a little channel. So now let me think about it a bit more and decide what I'm going to actually put in this thing. Okay, I thought about it. I'm not going to be putting a quiet single coil pickup in this thing. So, and obviously I'm not going to modify the body in order to accept the pickup. So that leaves the PAF, the quadrail, and the high output PAF. And I think I'm going to go with the quadrail. Yeah, it's hard to beat these things really from what I've seen. It's got a relatively flat output curve. I mean, it's not too strong in the mids. It's not like that P90, which had that really nice kind of more scoop kind of a sound to it, but yeah, need a P90 humbucker, right? But anyway, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and slap quad in this like I was originally planning. As far as the spectrum analyzer here goes, the X-13 prototype with the interchangeable pickups is going to be the perfect opportunity, because this whole pile of pickups here, They're all going in that build, basically. And it's also going to have an onboard EQ, so there will be your built-in boost for when you swap in something that's quiet, like a gold foil or a lipstick or whatever. So yeah, so then you can just take that guitar and plug it into this and then into the stereo and get results that way, and be able to test all these once again, and also be able to test like stuff that didn't fit in this guitar. It'll fit in the other one. The other one's going to be, I've got to go through and figure out what the tallest thing is, and then maybe get fancy and have, if it's got like a wire sticking out, then maybe actually run that wire in a channel that's routed in the mounting plate underneath it. But they're all going to get a mounting plate. It's what, 40 by 85 or something like that. It's, yeah, it's big enough for a P90. There's a P90. Yeah, so it's going to be a mounting plate that's like about as wide as a humbucker, and it'll be like about that long compared to a P90. And on one end it'll fit underneath a clip, and on the other end there'll be a little machine thumb screw. And you just take out the thumb screw and slide it out, and then the wire itself gets a little 5-pin JST connector, it's called, Japanese solderless terminal connector. And you can do a pickup swap in, like, you know, how long does it take out a thumb screw, slide one out, slide the next one in. Well, undo a JST connector, take out a thumb screw, slide the first one out, slide the next one in, put it in the thumb screw, and connect the JST connector. You know, a minute or two, that kind of thing. And right now, the next thing here is clean up this mess on the bench, and then mount this puppy. Okay, I think that's going to do it for this video. So until the next one, everybody, have a good one.